Welcome back to Pac-Manufactured, a series all about Pac-Man clones. In this episode we're looking at Pac-Man, as featured in the Iogopro Classic Games collection, developed by Luke McCarthy for the PC and released in 1999. Now, this is a compilation of 3 arcade clones that includes Asteroids, Space Invaders and the titular Pac-Man, and as a result we're only going to be looking at Pac-Man as a part of this. But I need to give that context because I think it does explain some of the shortcomings of this clone. So this is a single maze Pac-Man clone, not too unlike the original arcade game, but obviously with a landscape orientation. I don't want to say widescreen because it's not full widescreen. As you can see, I've added the borders of my usual backgrounds to this one because it doesn't stretch for the entire widescreen. But yeah, it's quite a simplistic maze design. It is not one-to-one with the arcade version. It's a little bit different. It's got this sort of enclosed area in the middle with one exit, which does create a bit of an issue. So one of the things I noticed is that the Ghost AI is a bit rubbish in this. They don't really have much characteristics of themselves. They don't really zone in on you, like, and try and chase you like they do in the arcade game. They don't really have, any sort of unique AI whatsoever. They just sort of move back and forth in a set location. And one of the big issues that they have is that when they collide with each other, they can often get stuck together. And I actually experienced this happen right at the mouth of the first exit in the middle of the stage there, meaning that the only way I could get past them was to just repeatedly die and then start a new game, which wasn't a great showcase, I've got to say, like, to the AI for those ghosts. It's quite bad. But yeah, very simplistic. They just sort of seem to move back and forth on one corridor. They don't really move around the maze with much freedom. It's quite limited. Yeah, what with the one maze design and it being so simplistic, it's quite boring as well. Once you've cleared it, there's not really any reason to continue to play the game. There's only 2 power pills and just a fruit pickup occasionally in the middle of the stage. No new gimmicks of its own, no new ideas, no change to the stage layout as you progress through the game. So as a result, it's a very, very simple Pac-Man clone that doesn't do an awful lot and gets very repetitive very quickly. So yeah, not something that you want to play for a particularly long amount of time. That's where I've got to talk about the context of its inclusion, because what with this being in a compilation of 2 other arcade clones, I think that's the way you're meant to experience this, is that you play a little bit of Asteroids, play a little bit of Space Invaders, you play a little bit of Pac-Man. And as a result, you get a little bit more bang for your buck, you get a little bit more entertainment value from having 3 games instead of it just being this one isolated experience. But as a single isolated experience, it's not very good, unfortunately. I can't really recommend it. Yeah, it's not great. It's too simplistic. There's not enough going on. The stage design is just a tad boring. It's not as good as the original Pac-Man maze. As a result, it's not very entertaining to play for a long amount of time. You'll clear one maze and then you've seen everything the game has to offer. So yeah, it's not great. I can't say I'd recommend it. But a nice little freeware curio that I found on a shareware compilation I just wanted to highlight because it's an obscure one and I don't know if anybody else has covered it, to be honest with you.